Welcome back in the Call It Both Ways podcast. I'm your host, Ethan Tanner.
And I'm Hayden Madson, and boy, we've got a lot on the docket today.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, well, we're going to start it out with some little stat padding, right?
That's right. Let's get right into it, actually. Let's go right into our stat pad of the day. We're going to talk about a classic one. Angel Reese, earlier in 2025, she missed a bunch of free throws. And in a game where she ended up with 12 rebounds on 0 of 8 shooting. Let's take a look.
Yeah, she recording 51 double-doubles on the season, and now we know why.
Here it is. Gets a little pass or a little drive to the hoop. Misses it. Goes back for the ball. There it is. Layup. Off the rim. Off the backboard. Gets it back. Give me that.
Oh.
Right side. Nope.
Oh. Blocked, rejected again. She said, not in my house.
Oh, man. She was just cold as it comes.
Yeah, man. Not hard to get 51 double-doubles when you're getting 5 rebounds in one play.
Yeah, and just for context, she has 51 double-doubles on her career and just 1 triple-double. So, and this came in a game where, she made 0 of 8, 2 free throws, of 6, by the way. Just a horrible showing for somebody who says that they are the best player in the league.
I mean, really, if you're not getting double-doubles off of plays like this, then that's embarrassing because that means you're not getting double points.
Yeah.
And you're the star of the squad.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Angel Reese, you trash-talking Caitlin Clark, it's not boding well for you.
Yeah. Not a great look for Angel Reese. Anyway, funny play there. Let's go ahead and move straight into the next segment. Take it away, Hayden.
Yeah, Game 3 of the Western Conference semifinals. We got, coaches get mad all the time, but, every now and then, I guess, you get the officials, the one blowing the whistle, a little bit angry. So here we've got, fourth quarter, Timberwolves versus the Spurs, 5 minutes remaining, 2-point lead for the Spurs. Chris Finch wants a timeout. He just wants a timeout, Ethan.
Yeah, that's right. Look at it. Here he calls a timeout, and Tony Brothers takes 3 whole seconds to make the call. And Chris Finch, honestly, rightfully so, is angry about the call. But, Hayden, break down, why did it take him so long to make that call?
Yeah, when you look at Tony Brothers, he looks at Chris Finch, who's trying to call a timeout. Right before that, there was a tipped pass that went into the back court. You can't call a timeout when there's no control. And so Tony Brothers sees immediately after there might be control that Chris Finch calls a timeout. He takes another peek at the play to make sure Chris Finch's team has the ball, and then immediately calls a timeout. Right. So naturally, it's going to take a couple more seconds. Especially on a play like that, it just can't be immediate. And so, but Chris Finch got pissed, and it looks like someone else got pissed too.
Yeah, look at Tony Brothers. I think he's more pissed than Chris Finch about the whole situation because he's mad because he's just doing his job, and Chris Finch is mad at him for ultimately what ended up being the right call. And the 2-minute review shows that ultimately Tony Brothers made the right call, and it's not every day you see Anthony Edwards holding the ref back from getting mad at his coach. It's usually Anthony Edwards that's the one in trouble.
Yeah, well, the officials are, supposed to be the common ground amongst everyone, and they're supposed to, calm the situation down when it arises. But it's a tough job. Every play, no matter if you're right or wrong, everyone's pissed at you one side of the ball, Yeah. So. Tony Brothers getting towards the end of his career, maybe he's just saying, F it. I do what I want now. So I don't know, might have something to do with that. But after the game, Chris Finch had this to say about Tony Brothers.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Chris, I'm not sure I've seen players hold a referee back from their head coach before.
Pretty unprofessional, huh?
Well, could just kind of tell us
I wanted
what
the
happened?
timeout.
Yeah.
And I had called it 3 seconds earlier, and I wanted the timeout, and I said I want my 3 seconds back. And so, and because he clearly heard me, he looked my way, ignored me, went on with the play, and then, gave me the almost cost us a turnover. So, and then, he lost it. Then I went to ask him where the ball was going to be taken in, and he was screamed at me for that. So completely unprofessional behavior by him.
Yeah, so unprofessional. I don't know. I would like to hear Tony Brothers' side of things. Maybe this is, it's been in discussion. Steph Curry's brought it up before, having the referees have a press conference after the game.
Yeah, I think that would look really interesting. As somebody who works in that side of athletics with the press conferences, that's obviously something that's really difficult because it's required of the coaches, it's required of the players. They go in there and a lot of times they just say the most blanket statements. So it would be tough because everyone would grab onto anything that the refs say. No matter if it's even completely out of context, people are going to take that stuff and they're going to be like, that's the rule, whatever he said. And so I think that's one of the reasons they've kept them out of the media in that way, is to keep them away from violence, because sometimes people get violent. And also just because, like, the refs ultimately, yes, they enforce the rules, but they don't make the rules. And so that's a whole thing. It's like you want to protect the rules by protecting the refs. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you got to protect the referees. And I think there's also the aspect of you don't want, referees are going to gain even more popularity if we put them in front of the media answering questions. You don't want your referees to be recognizable when they go out in public. There's bribes that come into play and all sorts of things.
Well, and especially you already have a problem with some of these NBA refs because the fact that everybody knows his name, Tony Brothers, we were just talking about him, he's a notorious ref. I don't think he's a bad ref. I think he's made some tough calls. And he's been caught on camera in several moments, but ultimately he's a great ref. It takes greatness to get to where he is, and so he has a history of greatness. But the fact that people know who he is we're starting to get in that realm of celebrities at this point.
Yeah, he's been around for a long time. You got Scott Foster, who's also very well known, and that just comes. The NBA used to be a league where the officials, were big and pompous. Now they all look the same. They all have very similar personalities out on the court.
Yeah.
But hey, it's baseball season though. Let's go talk about some baseball.
Yeah, and you know what kind of referees have the most pomp, like you were saying, is these umpires. Let's take a look at this clip from the MLB. Last week we talked about the ABS system getting implemented in the MLB. It's now been 2 weeks with that system. Let's take a look at this clip. This brings up a really good question about how do we handle tough situations with this new system. Let's take a look.
Oh, yeah. All right, throws it down. Strike. Oh, umpire says he wanted a challenge. He's saying no.
Wait, but I didn't see him touch his helmet there.
Yeah, well, he reached up to grab something.
So.
He's in disbelief. They go through. Challenge initiated. Strike. No more challenges the rest of the game.
So obviously that's on the edge of the zone. So it's still a strike though. ABS shows. Coach is pissed. What's the deal? Let's look at the replay here. Let's take a look. There's the pitch. Clearly a strike.
Oh, he almost did. Oh.
But he reaches up. Yeah, you're right. Look, he reached up, but he didn't touch his helmet there.
Yeah, he did not touch his helmet. The umpire made a mistake there. Yeah.
So what do you do in that situation? It's like clearly he was reaching. He was reaching up there.
Yeah.
So
he was reaching, but he never actually challenged because in the MLB the way you challenge is you got to tap your helmet or your hat if you're the pitcher, and then the challenge will be initiated. But in this scenario, he never tapped his helmet.
So it's a bad call by the ref at the end of the day. But in the effort to make the game run faster. They've implemented a pitch clock now. We want this game to move faster so that it's more interesting. And here we are. We don't have time. We don't have all day to find out if he wants to challenge it or not. And he made the motion. It was close. It's obviously not the right call to do the challenge. But what do you do? How do we?
Gosh, well, I think this is just one of those plays where where the umpire has a brain fart.
Yeah.
This brain fart didn't. He registered in his brain that he challenged it, but he didn't. So I think you just have to go through with it if the umpire thinks he challenged, right? There's no other real way. Players and coaches are always trying to get an advantage, and if they can try and say, no, we didn't challenge it, how can you trust them?
Yeah. And I think this just shows the shakiness of implementing new rules into the league. So we'll stay tuned. We'll be talking more about this in the future. Yeah. Hopefully they can figure it out. I agree. Yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about, though, a little bit something closer to home. Hayden, were you at the BYU baseball game last night against Kansas?
I wasn't, but I heard it had some conference tournament implications.
That's right. So BYU, for those that aren't aware, is currently in their last home stand against Kansas, who is ranked number 14 in the nation. I was at the game last night. It was the first of 3 games here in Provo, and it was a close one. Kansas went out early, took a 6-0 lead, and then BYU came back to tie the game at 6 before Kansas was able to go ahead and take three more. So it was 9-6 going into the 8th inning. Bottom of the 8th inning, BYU has a chance to score. Runners on third and second base, so in scoring position, 2 outs. Pitch count is 1-2. So they're really close to losing this inning. And here's what happens. Let's take a look. Let's listen to this audio from the radio broadcast.
It's Greg Wrubell's voice.
9-6. Breaking ball high, ball 2. No! It's strike 3. Wow. It is right. Trent Pratt not happy.
That's not a strike.
Signaling to the umpire his displeasure. I thought for sure that was a ball. I looked down and then I heard the crowd. And on the called strike, Jones is struck out looking.
Terrible call.
And that takes us to the 9th inning. So from second and third, 1 out, the Cougs get a pair of tough luck strikeouts from Robinson and Jones.
Good.
And we go to the 9th inning. KU 9 and BYU 6 on the new.
Couldn't have said it better there.
And yeah, the crowd did not like that, and the commentators didn't like that. Maybe the umpire had a date with Denny's or something after the game. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, he got hit by 2 pitches earlier in the game in the head. The medical staff came and looked at him. So I don't know. Something could have gone wrong. It begs the question, though. It's like, what is supposed to happen if the umpire is injured or he has some kind of concussion? Do we switch him out? What do we do?
Yeah, well, according to some research that I did, if he's injured, then one of the base umpires will come in, put on the gear, and step up to the plate.
And they would use 3 refs instead of
the 4. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So, but I mean, he's got to be diagnosed with something. So, what you said the trainers went and checked him out, right? Made sure he wasn't concussed.
They went and talked to him. He seemed to be fine. Honestly, I didn't think he was hurt all that bad, but he was making excellent calls until the very end of that game. And then, man, the call we just looked at. The ball was high. I mean, you heard Greg Wrubell. He's like, high and out. That's a ball. And then boom, he's out. End of the inning. It's just, and that ended the game for them. They didn't have any life in them in the 9th inning, and the game just ended. They lost to Kansas. Ultimately, this has implications in where they end up in the tournament. Kansas is pretty much locked in the 1 seed, but BYU could still get a bye on the first day as long as they win here. I think they have to win the next 2. So. Kind of rough start for the Cougars and robbed in a way.
Yeah, I mean, you hate to see it at the end of the ball game. I mean, maybe the umpire was just getting tired at the end of a ball game. I don't know, and just call accuracy was just going down. Yeah. But I mean, that's the end of the game is when you really, really need to be at the top on your A game. Yeah. That's what we're always taught. I mean, no matter how tired you are, you could call the greatest game in the world, and you call the last few pitches, the last 2 minutes, poorly. That's what everyone's going to remember. It doesn't matter anything else. So, but yeah, that sucks. BYU will have to, step up, win these next 2, and hopefully get that bye going in the tournament.
Yeah, it'll be cool. It'll be good to see what they're able to do. But continuing with baseball, let's go ahead and move into our weird rule that we're going to talk about for today. And this one dates back a few years, but it's a more recent change. We're going to talk about what we call the Barry Bonds rule. So a little bit of a history lesson. We're going to talk about this for a second. Barry Bonds was a great player for the Pittsburgh Pirates back in the day, back in the early 90s. And in order to beat him, teams decided that they started to shift their defense because he had a tendency to hit the ball down the first base line. And he was really good at hitting them out of the park too. But typically they went down the first base line, which in a normal defensive setup is really hard to defend against because if it just goes straight down that line, that's basically a guaranteed double. So they started shifting the defense. Let's actually take a look at how the Reds bench coach Ray Knight explained it back in the day. Let's take a look.
The infield is where they should be to retire maybe the best hitter in the game right here in Barry Bonds. He's in town tonight. The guy hits it. Well, where I see Barry Bonds hit it is out here somewhere.
Yeah, we want to play right here, but we don't play high enough.
But if we're able to keep him in the yard, how are you going to defend Barry Bonds tonight?
Well, the way that I would like to defend him, and it's very difficult because, you know, you don't want to do something that is radical and have somebody beat you. But the way I think we should play Barry, and depending on our pitchers, of course, and getting a pitch in a certain area, is playing off the line a little bit here, not straight away, but and not rank pull, but off the line, because he seldom hits the ball really, you know, flat down in this area. When he hits it in here, it's got elevation. For me, our center fielder would play almost in right center field, and I would actually have our left fielder to play almost 20 feet right of straightaway.
So you're really giving him a lot of ground here
I'm
in left
giving him
field.
everything over here, and what I'm hoping that he does is try to shoot the ball this way. On our infield, we'd play our first baseman back and deep. I'd like to play my second baseman about 40 feet back in the outfield. I'd like to play my shortstop right here. And then I'd like to play actually my second baseman right there and hope that he bunts and hope that he tries to shoot the ball this way, because although he has great power, he's a doubles hitter this way. When you let him pull the ball, he's going to beat you with a home run. So I would like to just see us give him almost the whole left side of the field and pitch him in, play him there, and if he tries to go this way, thank you very much.
So if you're pitching against Barry Bonds in this situation, and you get in a situation where I don't want to go inside again to him, maybe I should go away, are you going against your defense that way?
Well, you're going against your defense, but you're not going against the strength or the strategy of your approach to Barry Bonds, because now you're taking where, even if he hits a ball this way, he doesn't run as well as he used to be, so you have your left fielder coming in here, making a play and keeping him at first base.
Well, good thing tonight that the Reds aren't pitching Chris Welsh, or else Ray Knight would have a whole bunch of guys right up here.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And it still took them a few years to actually change the rule.
Yeah, that's right. So we call it the Barry Bonds shift rule because it started with Barry Bonds, but it became a pattern. So after this time, this defensive strategy of moving your shortstop all the way over to the other side of second base with the second baseman and oftentimes into the outfield was a strategy that was used league-wide against many other batters in the future. And in 2016, you saw it on grounders. More than a quarter of those plays, you had a shifted defense. And that just, it doesn't seem right. And so in 2023, they ultimately implemented the shift change rule, which no longer allowed your shortstop and your second base to be on the same side of the second base. They have to split it. And they have to be inside the infield. They have to be in the dirt. So it really forces you to have your set normal baseball defense, keep the game traditional. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that change?
To me, it feels like I see both sides of the argument. You've got the entertainment side. You want to have hits, and you want to be able to have the base runner trying to outbeat the throw, sliding to second to get there. But I think you've got to, you have the entertainment. But I mean, I think if teams are willing to take that risk, leave the whole side of the field open, and the batter just can't hit it that way. I don't know. I don't see why not.
Yeah, I think it's a great rule change. I think we protect the sport. Baseball, historic sport, 100 years old. We got to keep it the way it's meant to be.
Keep it pure.
That's right. I mean, make it quicker because let's be honest, our attention spans are cooked already. So we got to make the game go a little bit faster than maybe back in the day when people had nowhere to be.
Yep. They've been seeing a lot of that, making it quicker.
Yeah. And I like it. I like using the technology, ABS. But the defensive schemes, nobody wants to see the defensive shift. That's boring. That's lame.
Yeah. I mean, I can see it. I mean, just at one point, just make the batter better, make him better at hitting the one side.
Make him hit to the other side. I don't know.
But no, I agree. You got to make baseball entertaining. Let's keep America's pastime relevant.
I agree.
And I mean, it's making a comeback.
That's true. That's true. Thanks for joining us today on the Call It Both Ways podcast. I'm Ethan Tanner.
And I'm Hayden Madson, and we'll see you next week. Hey, there we go. Okay.